3, 2, 1, 0.
Hey, you! Yeah, you! Come here for a minute. I want to talk to you. Mama says you're brain dead. Bang your head against the wall. Can't find peace of mind. Brain needs an overhaul. Bonehead, brain dead. We're all the same. You can't think straight when your heart is. Here we go. Turn around, hit the ground. Time to lay your burden down.
The views expressed on this broadcast of the Take 12 Recovery Radio Show are those of the co-host and guest and do not necessarily reflect those of our affiliates. The topics and opinions on today's show should not be considered as medical, psychological, or professional advice. Take 12 Radio is not affiliated with any particular 12-step fellowship. And now, here's your host,
the man.
That's right.
The myth.
That's right.
The legend.
the Monty'man.
I'm telling you the truth, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Good guys, bad boys, we're all the same. Saved by grace is the name of the game. Turn around, hit the ground, time to lay a burden down. Yes, it is. Welcome to the Take 12 Recovery Radio Show. The great reality. Denver Wolf is here.
Good morning.
Tony J is here.
Good morning.
Marv R is here.
Yeah, I am.
Yes, he is. And moi, the man, the myth, the legend. Somebody came up to me at Recovery in the Park and said, "Are you the man, the myth, and the legend?" Yeah.
All right, a listener.
Yeah. And I said,
How did I miss that?
Yeah.
Oh, you were not the booth. You were everywhere
No, I
else.
was walking around. Yeah. By the way, Recovery in the Park was...
It was fun.
That was a home run.
1,000+ people.
1,000+ people. Every year it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And we're talking about the event at Monteith River Park. Why do they call it Monteith River Park? Isn't that the Willamette right there?
How did they count the people?
That's what I want to know.
I think it's by the hot dogs.
No. I had 3 hot dogs.
So did I. I don't know.
Yeah, that can't be
I mean,
it.
it was obviously...
Maybe it's an aerial.
It was obviously way more than last year.
Oh, yeah.
Just by looking at it. But how do they count?
Were those
Is
little
there
drone
an-
things, maybe?
Is there a drone? I don't anymore. I'm sure there's a way to do that with a drone.
Maybe it's the tickets they handed out.
I don't know.
I can't know.
I can't know.
Can't know.
Right?
Why didn't you make an appearance?
Yes, Marv.
Well, I did think
We were all
about it.
there.
I did think about it.
He thought about it.
Yeah,
That sounds like...
I didn't make it.
Well, next year,
yeah.
we're going to... You know what we'll do? We'll have some... we'll hang some tack... Is that what you call it? Tack? Tack?
Yeah.
Up on the... I'm learning this because I'm watching this series called Heartland.
Heartland.
Oh, it's a wonderful show. Very family friendly. It's about horses up in Canada.
And
I love horses.
And tack.
And tack. Yeah.
What's a tack?
It's more than one.
Oh.
It's a thing.
I'm lost.
It's the straps and everything, right? The leather and the...
Yeah, whatever you put on a horse is tack.
Yeah.
I thought it was a saddle.
It could be.
That's part of it.
The blanket and then the saddle, and you just buckle them up and you go.
Well, I don't think it's that easy.
In a perfect world, it's that way.
It looks like it. Okay, attack.
So,
Anyways.
well, if you missed Recovery in the Park in Albany, next Wednesday is another one in Lebanon.
That's right.
Yes. I'm not sure how I'm going to swing that one, but I'm not going to be swinging it like I swung the last one.
Wednesday, huh?
Wednesday. Yeah. Park instead of...
Thrift store.
Which park?
River Park in Lebanon, by the river there.
I didn't even know they had a river.
Yes.
I don't know Lebanon.
Okay, so something I want to talk about really quick here. Jennifer Brandt, a friend of ours and a listener here at Take 12 Recovery Radio, also part of the Benzo Information Coalition. I don't know if many of our listeners are aware. We talk about the problems with opiates, but a lot of people miss the whole problem with benzodiazepines. We're talking about what I call the PAM family. Is it diazepam, oxapam, nitrisapam?
Oh, is that the Facebook
samazepam.
page you told me to like?
Yes.
Okay, I did like it.
Lorazepam, all these. We're talking about Valium and Miralex and Mogadon and
I've never heard of
Serapex and all these. These are drugs that were created primarily to calm us down.
Huh.
Sometimes they're used in detox. Sometimes they're used with people that have high stress and anxiety and that kind of thing. The problem is they were never meant to be used as something to maintain. They were created to use temporarily for a week or so. And the abuse of benzodiazepines is huge. And with the attention so much on the opiate-based pain medication, some of the urgency I'm looking at this has been lost. And so I wanted to bring this to our listeners' attention. And so if you go to our website, take12radio.com, and you scroll down about 3/4 of the way down, there are 3 links there. One for the World Benzodiazepine Awareness Day, one for Benzo Information Coalition, and one for a short film called As Prescribed by Holly Hardman. And I'd really like you guys to see that and watch it. It's very informational. This is stuff that Big Pharma doesn't want you to know. And you really need to get on board. There's ways that you can become part of the coalition, and you can help people become aware and possibly help save somebody's life.
Cool.
So please do that.
That's new.
Please visit those links on our website. All right. So anyway, I posted a question, and my son said, "Oh, Dad, why do you do this?"
Why does he ask?
Then he and I got into a rather heated disagreement about it, which is always interesting. When you know you're right and your son is mistaken, it's always interesting. I say that tongue in cheek. So I posted the question, will somebody please explain to me why women and some men refer to females as dudes?
He did too.
And Colin goes, why did you open that door? And it's funny because you can post something on social media that is really deep and meaningful, and nobody responds. But you put something like that on there, and they come out of the woodwork. Yep. So some of the responses were, I don't mind that. What I really dislike is when this was a woman, somebody refers to me as a dudette. That just really offends me.
Yes.
Somebody said, "Oh, it's just slang." Somebody said, "Language is a growing, living, breathing thing. It's always changing."
Whoa.
That was deep.
It's always changing, And other people said, "I've been calling my girlfriend's dude for a long time." I don't know how long this has been going on. I guess I've missed it or something. I know in the last couple of years I've heard it more, and some people said, "Oh, it's just laziness," blah, blah. I've got an opinion about it, and it's kind of a conspiracy theorist kind of thing. I think it has to do with gender re-identification. I think that we're living in a time when there are subtleties that happen in our society. It's the frog in the water thing. You just warm up the water a little bit at a time. And if we can get away with calling women by a male gender name, and it's normal, I mean, I got to play something for you. And my son says I've lost my mind. Maybe I have. But I want you to hear what Bill Nye said.
Bill Nye said something on this?
Oh, my gosh. Not on dude, but just listen to what he says. Listen to this really carefully.
Take sex. We used to think it was pretty straightforward. X and a Y chromosome for males, 2 X's for females. But we see more combinations than that in real life. And even for people with just 2 sex chromosomes, hormones can vary wildly. So can anatomy. When you throw in gender, it gets even more colorful. By 3 or 4, most kids identify with a gender, and it doesn't always match the sex they were assigned at birth. And a person's gender identity may change over their lifetime. Sure, this might make things confusing for those who insist everyone pick an M or an F, but people, we have to listen to the science.
Gender identification may change several times over your lifetime. Today, I want to be a woman. Tomorrow, I want to be a man. The next day, I want to be a man-woman. And on and on and on it goes. And this is what they're teaching in our schools now. And I think the whole thing, and I think it sounds very minor, but hey, dude, you know, I mean, I would never call my wife dude. People say, well, you don't want to assign labels and all that kind of thing. You know, okay, so let's make stop signs go signs.
Oh, God.
Well, officer, I didn't see stop, I saw go.
Oh, Monty.
How far do we take this crap? You know? And what's this got to do with recovery? This is the kind of stuff that, no wonder people stick needles in their arms and bottles in their mouths. I would too. This is crazy stuff. Hey, dude. What if I started calling you dude, Tony?
I'm
Dude,
fine with that. No.
No,
I agree.
dudette
with,
bothers you.
Dudette bothers me.
Why
But I
does dudette-
use dude as like, you know, like, oh my God, like, dude.
What about
like,
ma'am?
I gotta tell you something.
Ma'am. Just ma'am?
I hate ma'am.
See, yeah, I had a lady almost come across the counter at me one
Oh,
time.
I'm at work. I'm like, don't call me ma'am. My name's Tony.
Oh, my.
Well, I like the one, you know, call me sir, that's my dad or whatever, you know. But I kind of like being
Ma'am
called
just
sir.
sounds
Yes, sir.
old.
I kind of like that. That
Yeah.
shows respect. Marv, what do you think, man?
You don't want to ask me.
Oh, come on. Come on, buddy. Come on.
I'm kind
Chime
of
in.
tiptoeing around the subject as well.
Well, you know,
Pull that mic towards you a little bit.
I was just like a lot of us here, raised in a different generation. When
Amen.
I first started hearing that dude business, I don't know why, but it upset me.
Hmm.
You know, to me, it's kind of like a smart ass remark.
Sure.
There's no respect, no, hey, dude, you know.
Yeah.
So, but that's just me. I'm like a dinosaur, you know. I'm
Right.
old fashioned, and
Yeah. And to the point of what my son says, he said, well, Dad, but that's back in your generation.
I agree with.
But the deal of it is, some things are the same yesterday, today, and forever. I'm sorry, they should be. And, you know, that we're quoting out of the Bible, they're referring to Jesus. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. But certain things are certain things. I mean, I'm sorry, but, you know, and when Colin told me, he says, well, you know, society has reassigned. And I said, exactly. And who is society? It's not God. Who are we to make statements like this nut?
How long
Bill
ago was
Nye.
that?
Bill Nye. This was just the other day.
That he posted
Yeah,
that?
Bill Nye is saying that you're not necessarily identify with the gender that God made you, and then you can change whenever you want to. It happens several times during your life. You know, that's a lot of surgeries.
Oh my God.
I mean, come on. And then he has the audacity to say, well, it may be confusing for people who insist on picking an M or an F, you know, male or female. What, Marv?
well, we live in a society today and have for a long time, and it sounds kind of ridiculous, but I'll just coin it in a little statement. It's what is, ain't. You know, what is truth? It's not the truth.
Yeah.
And we see it in every area of our lives just about today.
Right. What people perceive as, you know, here's my take on it. Facts change. The fact is, my phone is sitting over here. Now it's over here. Facts change. The truth never changes. And we change facts all the time.
It's still your phone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the truth.
Yeah.
Unless I give it to him and say, now you can have it and it belongs to you. Now that's changed. I don't know.
I feel as long as somebody's happy with who they genuinely are and feel who they are, that it's pretty.
Yeah, but
okay.
then we're back to whatever feels right, just do it. And then we're back to what he was saying yesterday.
It's a touchy subject.
What's based on feelings and what's based on truth.
Yeah.
Or principle.
Our principle.
You know, there's a couple of times in the Bible, it's pretty clear. It says in there, and these are my words of paraphrase, it says that God will turn them to their own deceptions. Turn them over to their own deceptions. And so a lot of this stuff that's going on is deceiving. The heart is wicked above all things.
Right.
And to me, that's what I see going on. These people are, well, I don't know.
Well, and there's a scripture verse that talks about, and he mentioned this yesterday, Tony. There is a way that seems right unto a man that actually leads to death.
The end thereof is the way of death.
Yeah. It seems right. It feels good. You know. Hey,
I remember that.
Okay, so today I'm a donkey today. Why can't I be a donkey? If human beings are just animals, why can't I be a lizard tomorrow? I mean,
but aren't you supposed to just? God tells us to love people anyways for who they are.
I'm not saying you don't love people.
I know.
I'm saying that we're watching the decay and the dumbing down, especially in this nation, of society by buying into every little whim based on feelings and not on truth, and that's dangerous. And that's even more reason.
I get the point of what you're saying. I get the point.
That's
of what
even
you're
more
saying,
reason to love people. That's even more reason to pray harder for people, not to shun them. You know, but people that are in positions of authority and leadership, like Bill Nye, who are leading our young people down this path of anything goes, no matter what you say. What is truth? What is right? What is wrong? If it's not right for you, then it's not right. Okay, so I'm going to go out and slash your tires. That's right for me.
Oh, God.
That's my reality. Don't get mad at me,
or
man.
I'm going to shoot you.
I'm going to shoot you. How far do you take it? And then people will say, well, that's different. Well, how is it different?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, we're living in a world today that is so broken that they're and the topic today is faith, and we're losing it. We're losing it, and it's like, and this isn't anything new. I mean, it's been going on for centuries. I remember in the '60s, the whole theme was free love. If it feels good, do it. There were bumper stickers. If it feels good, do it.
I'm okay, you're okay.
I'm okay, you're okay. Everything's okay. You know.
Cool.
Maybe it's okay. Maybe it's okay for me and my reality to beat my wife. Maybe that's okay. Maybe that's just me. Where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line, Denver? Is there a line to be drawn?
There is in my world.
Amen.
It's a slow boil. I like your...
the frog thing?
The whole frog thing.
Yeah, it is a slow boil.
It really is. It's just creeping in slowly, and you'll never... If you're not aware, it just goes right by the wayside, and pretty soon it just becomes common, everyday place, and it's accepted, and there you are in the end.
Yeah.
What happened? Boom. You didn't even see it coming.
So I'm going to cop to something, and I didn't even realize this, but I've fallen into this with the terminology guys. Hey, guys. And it could be a room full of women. Hey, guys, come on, we're leaving.
Yeah.
Right? Guys is a male thing, isn't female. But what if somebody came up to you, Denver, and say, hey, lady.
I say, hey, girlfriend.
Girlfriend. Good Wolfie.
I would pull up my man bun tighter and look at her and say, dude, I'm a guy.
Dude.
I'm a guy.
Oh, Lord.
That's everything wrapped into a ball. Right?
That was awesome.
Oh, man. I just made a ton of enemies.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
Oh, well. It's my truth, and I can stick to it if I want to. So, and that's the other thing. If you disagree with any of these folks, then all of a sudden they're just up in arms and they're burning down your house and throwing bricks through your car window, because that's their reality. So I don't know.
Where's Colin when I need him?
Listening somewhere.
Else. I will say that I'm the first time I'm speechless on the show. I got nothing.
All right, listen to this, and we'll come back and we'll do a little Take 12 trivia, and then we'll get into our topic, faith. Don't go away.
Turn around, hit the ground, time to lay a burden down.
And now, here's Pastor Johnny Baker for Celebrate Recovery.
Celebrate Recovery is for all of us because we've all been hurt and we've all hurt other people. We've all got things in our lives that keep us stuck and keep us frozen, things we wish we didn't deal with. And for many of us, we have these addiction issues that also just rob us of any joy or peace that we have in our life. The thing about Celebrate Recovery is that it's a biblical program and it's got 8 principles that lead us from one place to the next place over one day at a time after one day at a time. So we begin where we realize that we're not God. We come out of denial. We face our fears. We face the problems that have keeping us stuck. We turn our lives over to Jesus. We do things like taking a moral inventory of our lives, and we look at all the things that we've done have been done to us to help us come out of that. We talk to other people about what's happening. Then, at the end, we serve other people because we believe that God uses our pain so that we can help other people when they go through pain.
To locate Celebrate Recovery in your area, visit celebraterecovery.com.
Here's what's his name.
You want to play trivia? Trivia.
And now it's time for everybody's favorite Take 12 game show, Take 12 Trivia, brought to you by that wonderful recovery magazine, the 12-Step Gazette. Visit their website at 12stepgazette.com. Now take it away, the Monty'man.
Yes. So we haven't figured out if Cecil's a dude or a dudette yet. So.
Both.
Whoa.
What were you going to say?
No, but every time I hear that, I don't think of the Oregon Duck song because that's the same thing music to my high school's.
Right, because it's the same one,
Yeah.
huh? Yeah, that's a
So I
trip.
sing my high school theme song.
It's
in my
every
head.
I think it was every high school's.
So tomorrow, if you're listening on Monday, tomorrow is the 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
So please don't say Happy 4th of July. Say congratulations on our independence. This isn't like a birthday cake birthday. This is something to really respect and really, I mean, if that's your reality.
It's good to turn it into the show all day.
So, in honor of our independence, here is some fireworks trivia.
Ooh.
You ready for this? Here we go. The earliest demonstration of fireworks dates back to the 7th century. In what country? Here's your choices. China, Italy, or Japan? What do you think, Marv?
China.
What do you think there, Tony?
I say Japan. They like to blow stuff up there.
Okay.
Yeah, if you read the back of the label, it says "Made in China." Boom, China.
Oh, huh.
Yeah,
Dang it.
Marv and Denver are correct. It is China.
I'm going home.
Close though.
You're right.
Sorry, Tony. Okay, number 2. M80s, firecrackers, cherry bombs, etc. must have less than how many milligrams of flash or other explosive materials to be legally sold to consumers in the U.S.? Here's your choices. Less than 25 milligrams, 50 milligrams, or 75?
I thought they were all illegal.
50.
50? What do you say, Tony?
I'll go with them.
Okay, what do you think, Marv?
I have no idea.
You guys would be correct. It is 50. Yes.
I cheated, but high five.
Marv doesn't have any idea, so he gets that. All right. Which firework causes the most injuries to consumers? Here are your choices. Firecrackers, bottle rockets, or sparklers? What do you think, Marv?
Firecrackers.
I say bottle rockets because people get stupid with them.
Okay.
Injuries. Can you define that?
Oh, God. Do you
Which
ever watch
firework
YouTube
causes-
videos? Watch YouTube videos
because
of fireworks.
Trust me, you touch somebody with a sparkler, that's causing some injury.
So you're going to say sparkler?
No, I'm going to go with firecracker.
Well, you're all incorrect.
All right.
What?
Sparkler.
It is sparklers. It is
Yeah.
sparklers.
Oh.
Yeah.
They hurt.
Well, the thing is, people think because they're they appear
Little.
to be so minor, people are a whole lot more careless with them.
Nah, true.
And so, speaking of sparklers burn at a temperature of over how many degrees Celsius?
Oh, God.
100, 1,000, or 500? What do you think, Marv? He hasn't got a clue.
1,000.
Okay, 1,000. What do you think, Tony?
I'll say 500.
1,000. You pack
1,000.
it into a tube, you can blow up a lot.
Yeah, that comes out to 1,832 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, my God.
Is a sparkler. So, yeah, 1,000 is correct. Yeah. Let's see. That's pretty doggone.
That's hot.
That's like a torch. Yeah. So we got two more here. Disney World has more than how many fireworks shows per year? 1,000, 725, or 500?
Oh, God. I've never even been to Disneyland or Disney World. I don't know. You figured they have one a night at least.
500.
Yeah, we'll go with 500.
Quick, Mickey. 750.
We're channeling
It's
him?
actually 1,000.
Oh, Jesus.
1,000 per year. 1,000 per year. And your last one, the total amount of heat generated from 3 sparklers is the same amount of heat generated by what? A cutting torch, a blowtorch, or a lighter?
Didn't you just answer that? I'm going with torch.
Yeah, kind of.
The first one.
Cutting torch?
No, the blowtorch.
A blowtorch?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think?
Blowtorch.
Blowtorch?
Cutting torch. No.
Blowtorch. It is a blowtorch.
He said it. I was like, wait a minute, he just answered that one.
Yes, indeed. And there we go. That's Take 12 Trivia for this week.
Boom, boom.
Dun, 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 dun.
This thing matches.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, and just for fun, you know what spontaneous human combustion is?
Oh, is that your razor thing?
Yeah, this
I love
comes
that
from
thing.
the Dollar Shave Club, which I am a proud member of. Which means I get a 6-blade German technology, whatever that means, razor. I get 4 of them a month. That's 1 a week.
Nice.
Join the Dollar Shave Club. Anyway, I just thought this was really interesting, particularly because of the fireworks thing and the whole alcohol thing.
Oh, God.
So check this out. Cases of spontaneous human combustion,
Wait.
SHC.
Like people?
Yeah, this is where people just explode.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh! Okay, go ahead.
That is when a person suddenly and unexpectedly bursts into flames. Have been reported since at least as far back as 1746. Numerous victims, including most recently in 2010, an Irishman named Michael Flattery, have been found burned in cinders, leaving their surroundings virtually untouched. Like the chair wasn't burned at all, just the person's remains were in ashes. But what could possibly cause this to happen?
Right?
Only recently have scientists come up with a reasonable theory. It's called the Wick effect, and it may disappoint believers in the paranormal. By all accounts, most victims of spontaneous human combustion tend to be elderly and under the influence of alcohol.
Oh, my God.
Vodka.
They also almost always live alone. The combustion part works like this. The victim, for any number of medical reasons, falls completely unconscious possibly even dies from, say, a heart attack. Then their clothing is set aflame by an external heat source like a fireplace or a cigarette. Most victims of SHC also happen to be smokers. Over the course of several hours, the flames melt the victim's extremely flammable body fat, which lies just under the surface of the skin. This melted fat proceeds to soak into their clothing and acts like the wax in a candle, keeping the clothing burning slowly for a long period of time. Because the fire is relatively small and contained, this eerie human candle steadily burns itself out without spreading to anything else. The remains, when discovered, make it appear that the person just erupted in a puff of flame. There you go.
I wonder how you get grant money for that study.
I know. Whose study is that?
The moral of the story is smoking and drinking are bad playmates. Hi, Marv. How you doing? Bathroom Minutes by the Dollar Shave Club.
Lord.
You're sitting there on the toilet doing your business, and you're thinking, I feel kind of hot today. I wonder if you read something like that. It's like, I'm out of here.
That trivia came with your razor?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
You weren't here for the
a
last
$1.
one. It was great. No, it's not $1. I asked him that.
Yeah, it's actually $10 a month.
That's not bad, though.
No, that's not bad. Okay.
I'd be scared to poop after that.
Right, dude?
Yeah. Holla.
Oh.
You guys are weird.
I know.
It's the monster.
Slow boil.
Hey, look, by the way, for those of you that are really ticked off at me right now, I really don't care.
Oh, God.
I like having fun.
Woo.
You can't have fun
You're
recovery.
a little firecracker today.
You can't have fun recovery.
Oh, Lord.
No, it actually was the other one. If you can't have fun in recovery in your disagreements and the things that you don't see eye to eye with, it's going to be a really miserable existence. I'm going to the 12-step meeting so I can piss people off today.
No, I can hear him now. You say you're faith-based. Oh, I'm getting to be a little Monty now. Okay, next.
God will not be mocked, and neither will the Monty'man.
Moving on to faith.
All right, faith. The topic of faith. Here's the opposite quality: presumption. Presumption, presuming things without looking into them. Just presuming. So faith. The definition, according to the Character Qualities book, inspired by Adult and Teen Challenge Men's Discipleship Drug and Alcohol Recovery program. Learning the basis of developing healthy relationships with God, developing an unshakable confidence in God's Word, visualizing God's will and acting upon it, investing time in recovery and things that count for eternity. Things that count for eternity. So let's unpack that. Learning the basis of developing a healthy relationship with God. I was not interested in learning any foundational basis of developing a relationship with my Creator, before I was exposed to recovery. I thought I was. I went to Bible college. I studied theology. I took courses in crisis counseling, and I still really, truly was not interested in a true relationship with God. I just wasn't. I was interested in head knowledge, power, prestige, all that stuff. But I really wasn't interested in getting serious about my relationship with God. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think any of us are at that point.
Well, you just want the pain to stop, right? Like when we come into 12-step meetings, or this, we're like, we just want the misery.
The circumstances.
Or the circumstances.
Exactly.
To
Or the
clean up.
consequences.
Yeah, so if I go to this 12-step meeting, maybe I can prove to the courts that I'm a good guy. Or maybe my spouse, or maybe even myself. Maybe I can feel better about myself. There's nothing wrong about feeling better about yourself. But to really get down to, and I think that's one reason why a lot of people in meetings today take off, is because when they realize that this is more about developing a relationship with their Creator than they thought, it scares them.
Yep.
Your thoughts, Denver?
I'm thinking. Yeah, I really don't have anything.
Well, I think a lot of it. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that when you first come up with this, by the way, it's a gift from God to start with, but this idea that you want to follow God, and you want that more than anything, is not being able to realize at the time that you're going to have a responsibility in that.
Oh, right.
Wonderful.
It's just not going to be a burning bush thing, and now I feel great, and my life is...
Everything's hunky-dory.
Right.
But there's responsibility that goes with that, like the boiling frog thing, slowly comes upon you.
Yeah.
Amen.
Sure. So, Tony, you've had an interesting journey this last year and a half, right?
Yeah.
To where you were kind of hooked on meetings and hooked on phonics and...
Hooked on helping people, yeah.
Yeah, which is all good. But your desire to dig deeper has morphed into a beautiful
That's
thing.
huge. Yeah.
Right?
And I think it started when I knew the ending of my marriage was like sooner than I wanted it to be.
Right.
But I was in it way too long. But I had to find something out there that was bigger than me that I had
to lean on, or
not that I had to lean on, but that I could lean on and was there. And that's when I started talking to you about church. And even though it took me 6 months later to go. But,
right.
I would always pick your brain and, talk to you about stuff and figure out who this God thing is and figure out if it was my God. I don't know if my parents are going to hate me for saying this, but my God before was a very demanding, not demanding, but
judgmental, harsh.
Strict.
Yeah, God.
Beat you over the head kind of God. Yeah.
And now I'm figuring out that God's not like this good, bad person. He's
love.
Yeah. And like Pastor Kelly said yesterday, you
Right.
know, what do you say? God is bigger than you could ever imagine.
Yeah, he's bigger than all your
but
problems.
he's smaller and more intimate than you could ever know, or
Yeah.
whatever he said. Remember what?
Yeah, he's so big. He is bigger than all your needs and all that kind of stuff. But he's also small enough to be intimate.
And I grasped on that.
Yeah.
And I love that because it's so true. I mean, he's everywhere, but when you need him, he's always right there. But you have to believe that he's there. It's not something you have a choice in. And I think that's what you were saying when it scares people away, is because I didn't want to look at myself, but you have to look at yourself, and then you got to figure out there's something out there bigger than you that's helping you through this journey. So when they hear the God word, they do go away because they don't want to believe that they're not in control.
Do you think there's a fear of because I've heard a lot of people that don't want a relationship with God say things like, "Well, it can't be that simple."
Exactly. Well,
You know,
we are
because we want to complicate things. Could it be a fear of intimacy? I mean, I see, because I've heard people say, we probably all heard it, wow, I don't know what you have, but man, I sure wish I had that. And then when you say, well, you can, then they run. Could it be a possibility that they see the intimacy there and maybe that scares them because of fear of intimacy?
No, I think it's what Marv said perfectly. It's the having to do the commitment. I agree with that.
Coming to the realization that there's a responsibility involved with it.
With the relationship between you and God?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because God's not a sometimes God. God is always there.
Right.
Yeah, you can't just put him on the shelf.
He's not a cosmic vending machine, right?
On-demand God, like Pastor
Right,
Kelly
on-demand
said.
God, yeah.
I love what Marv said.
Uh-huh.
That's truth. There is the commitment that we have to make.
Sure.
On this. Having run my own program for a number of years, I didn't need faith.
Yeah.
I took care of the business myself. I trusted myself.
Pull that. You're gonna have to pull that mic a little closer to you because you're kind of soft spoken there, buddy.
Oh, maybe it's the day. I don't know. Is that better?
That's better.
All right. So yeah, having run my life, when you begin to get into this relationship with God and you realize there is something bigger than you going on in your life, it's difficult to trust, which is faith for me, trusting that God is going to come through, because I've ran this thing and I want to know the future. I want to know that I'm going to be safe, and faith requires that you're releasing control of your life over to Him and acknowledging that. And that's difficult to date, even. Constantly I struggle with that. It doesn't mean I don't believe in God and I know He's going to take care of me, but I still struggle with that grasping of that. Yeah. I've been in control a lot of years, man, and faith is just giving it to God and letting Him take it.
So the next sentence is developing an unshakable confidence in God and His Word. So I think the key word there is developing, right? It's an ongoing process.
Yes.
Of development. I do not feel, there's that feel word, but even my opinions are not the same about who God is as they were 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm glad, because I think I've grown and matured. And, if you were to tell me that I would feel the way I do about God that I do now 20 years ago, I would have probably run away. I have a whole different That's because of a developing relationship.
You spoke of that spontaneous combustion. My walk with Christ, it has not been that way. It has not just been boom,
right,
instantly done.
Yeah.
And like you said, this is building brick by brick, stone by stone in your walk with Him on this faith, trusting God. And
right.
So,
well, just like
it's a slow process.
In recovery, you have to build the base. I mean, you have to do the same thing with faith too.
Exactly.
And I'm still baby New Year at it, so.
Amen, me.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah. So. Well, heck yeah. This one I really like, visualizing God's will and acting upon it.
Difficult.
Good one.
Yeah. Okay. For instance, like if you feel like God is calling you to something, like something as simple as, that guy with the cardboard sign, I want you to go home, make a sandwich, and go give it to him. Mm-hmm. I've had that happen before, and thinking, I start second guessing it, and just going with. We often talk in recovery that term first thought wrong.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm not so sure.
Exactly.
Sometimes I think that first thought might be the Spirit of God's knocking on your heart saying, hey, why don't you do this?
The prompting of the Spirit.
The prompting of the Spirit. The first thought may be right.
Yeah.
My second thought may be the one that...
Correct.
And I think that's what guided me thinking about it now, being more in the faith world than I was 6 months ago.
Right.
I think that's why I did what I did for Thanksgiving when I went and fed the homeless, because
I know that was a marvelous thing.
Yeah,
that was a
but
really
it
cool
was
thing.
just the thought I had, and I was like, okay, sounds good, I'll do it. I have nothing going on anyways.
So what she did was she went home. You had nothing going on, and you made packages, right?
Yeah, about 10 of them.
About 10 different food packages, and just went out. And what you found was you couldn't find people.
I couldn't at all.
Normally, they're everywhere.
Everywhere. I found 3 or 4 people, and the rest I gave to a 7-Eleven right down the street to hand them out to, because I'm sure they had people come in all the time. And it was getting late, and I'm not going to drive around opening by myself.
So that's putting skin on God, right? Mm-hmm. That's God with skin on. Mm-hmm. You're going out there and putting hands and feet to how you believe and how you feel.
But I wouldn't have thought that 6 months ago. So now
Right.
I'm more like into my faith than I was then.
Sure.
It's just a miraculous journey.
Investing time in recovery and things that count for eternity. We spend a lot of time, we invest a lot of energy in things that are fleeting. We put a lot of faith in the paycheck. Mm-hmm. Right? And that it should be here on time, it should be this much, and then we look at our paycheck, we go, wait a minute, they shorted me 3 hours. Mm-hmm. That can happen at any time. We put a lot of faith, we make a lot of assumptions. I go out to my truck, I don't expect it to not start. I just assume it's going to start. Don't you, Marv, when you go out to your truck? I hope.
Yep.
Yeah, you turn the key and there you go. And that's good and all, but how much time and energy in our recovery itself do we put in things that are temporary and not eternal, like other people? Mm-hmm. Any comments?
We waste a lot of time.
Yeah, we do.
Procrastinate.
In today's society, mixed in with the media, procrastination, everything else, we waste a lot of time. I seen a video at the church service yesterday. I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he talked about us because we are Facebook people now, a lot of us.
Right.
If we invested that much time in just being alone with God in prayer or whatever, we just seem to idle time away.
Yeah.
You know?
And I agree on that, because when James first walked into my life, I did back off on a lot of commitments that I used to do faithfully all the time. So now I'm like getting back on track with those.
Right.
Like meetings in church and stuff.
Was that because it was the new shiny thing and it kind of distracted you for a little bit?
Yeah. And I was like, why aren't you going? Come on, let's go to church.
Right.
So now I'm like, if he fits, so it's
right.
Good.
Right. James, by the way, her new beau. Is that a term? Beau?
Is that like dude?
I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't heard beau.
It's kind of a southern thing, isn't it?
Beau?
Your beau.
Yeah.
I think
Is
so.
that southern? Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, I think
Ooh,
so.
I gotta research that.
You're asking the cowboy.
I'm getting ready.
Anyway, it turns out that he has worked on our air conditioner and heat pump and stuff. He's been in my home.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's seen the underbelly of the upstairs
you've seen
attic.
the Monty's room or facility?
Yeah, but he is Monty approved.
Yes, he is Monty approved. So here's some questions. Number one, can you give a clear testimony? So a testimony, you know what testimony is? A testimony is a revealing of your experience, no matter what it is. Can you give a clear testimony of your salvation experience? In other words, the experience you had when you first turned your will and your life over to the care of God as you understood Him. Can you give a clear testimony of that if somebody asks?
Oh, definitely. I do it all the time.
Marv, can you?
Yeah.
Denver?
Clear?
Yeah.
I can give a sound one.
Okay.
Clear, I don't know as clear, boom, moment. But,
Right.
yeah, I can give a sound testimony as to how this is coming about. And I
Right.
say coming because it's still constantly in the work.
Right. So that's an act of faith. At putting feet to faith. Here's question number 2. Would your family be convinced that God lives by the answers to prayer you share with them? Would your family be convinced that God is real by the answers to prayer in your life that you share with them?
I can't answer if they believe or not, but they do see the results
Yeah.
of my walking.
So they do see something's different.
They oh yeah.
Yeah.
They see a difference, and that has to just be living the testimony. You know,
Sure.
I can talk until I'm blue in the face, but results and action are what people will see, and they do see that.
Does your family see something's different?
It's funny you actually that's brought up because I had a conversation with my dad about money he's going to send me to help me and Kylie go see him. And
Right.
he's wanted to say, I don't want to send it to you yet. But I'm like, Dad, it's okay.
Yeah.
I understand. You know, trust is an ever-growing thing.
Oh, right.
Say it, and I have
Because
to know why.
past behavior
Yes.
has made you untrustworthy.
Yeah, and my mom's like, why did she say that? And my dad goes, no, she understands.
Yeah.
So now we're rebuilding the trust over. So yeah, no, they are slowly seeing the process. They don't understand a lot of it,
Right.
But they try.
But they
really
notice
hard.
they know something's different about Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah. Marv, what about your family?
What about it?
What about it?
That's another show.
The Marv Show.
Do people see a different Marv than before?
Probably my kids.
Yeah. So that's you know when other people are seeing that stuff. What's that old saying? Rather see a sermon than hear one any day.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Here's the third question. Do your priorities illustrate that you believe God is a rewarder of those who diligently seek Him? Do your priorities illustrate that you believe that God is a rewarder of those who diligently seek Him? Are your priorities in line? Mine are not all the time.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think that kind of fumbles sometimes, but then when I get back to it, and he's like, okay, good. You're back. Thanks.
What do you think, Denver?
I want to enter into this one slowly, too. Not sounding like... We want to be rewarded for good behavior, right? And
Right.
That
We're kind of seekers of that.
Yeah, and that sounds bad, but still, you want to please. So, what was the question again? 'Cause
Okay, so it's kind of interesting. Do your priorities illustrate, in other words, does it show other people that you believe God is a rewarder of those who diligently seek Him?
Priorities become important because you do want to please God. Now, there's gain for it for us, but also as you build this love relationship with God, priorities, you make your priorities become priorities. You know, what was not important 6 months ago has become important because you realize it is important to do that, and that pleases God. It pleases the people around you too. You know, if you're doing good, for the most part, everybody loves it, especially if you're been an addict around your family or friends or workers, employers, anybody.
Sure.
They see this change, your priorities, you show up on time, you do your work completely to the best that you can. Just, it priorities are shaped because you do want to please.
I was afraid you were going to look at me.
You're right across from me.
You didn't even have to say his name. He's like, oh, God.
Well, I'll just be honest right now, and for the last few months, I've been going through a really puzzling time.
Sure.
As to what's going on with my faith, period. I recognize a lot of doctrine, the way things should be, supposedly.
Yeah.
And they're just not that way. And so I'm having a hard time.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say.
That's real honest statement. Yeah.
And I always say, to add on to what you just said, that sometimes it's hard to put something into your whole trust into something you can't see, smell, feel, or hear. I struggle with that too.
Part of what they are not part, but if I remember right, what they talk about faith is how's that go? The hope of things seen and the evidence of things not seen,
right?
Something like that.
Right,
well,
Hebrews 11.
Yeah, I've got a lot of evidence of things not seen.
Yeah.
And that's part of my problem. And I think a lot of people do because of where they came from, what's happened in the past, and it really is. It's hard.
It is hard. Hebrews 11:1. I like the way the Living Bible says it. It says, "What is faith? It is the confident assurance that something we want is going to happen. It is the certainty that we hope for is waiting for us, even though we cannot see it." I have a confident assurance, if we want to call that faith. I have a confident assurance that something I want is going to happen. And I think the key word there for me is something. I may not know what that is, but I know bottom line, I want to please God.
Yeah.
Bottom line, my flesh does not want to, my ego doesn't want to, but inside of my heart of hearts, deep inside my soul,
yeah,
that's my desire. I want to please God, and I do have the confident assurance that He's coming. That the Lord is coming back. He's going to take me home. He calls all living things unto Himself. I believe that. I have no doubt about that whatsoever. It is the certainty that what we hope for, and that hope is that I will be eternally with my God at some point, and that's waiting for me, even though I can't see it.
Yeah.
And so it comes back to, do I know the truth, even though I don't feel like that's what's happening? I don't think the opposite of faith is how did I hear this once? I don't think the opposite of faith is fear. I think it's sight.
Yeah.
I think it's sight. We live by faith, not sight. And I think sometimes we get confused about this.
But don't you think there should be somewhere in there some evidence that these things are going on around us, whether we can see them or not?
I think there is.
Or some kind of hope or some kind of communication. Intimacy, we talked about that earlier. Some kind of intimacy. Shouldn't that be part of the whole picture?
I think there is. I think not all the time do I feel that connection with God, but if I look, I see the evidence all the time.
Yeah.
I see the evidence in people's lives who if I were to bet my life on it, I would tell you they had been dead in a week.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, God's done something in their life, and they blow my mind. I know that's not them.
Mm-hmm.
I know that when I hear that voice in the morning that says, get up and cook this and don't eat that, that's not me, and it's not the devil. I watch people's lives change on a regular basis that I would suspect just wouldn't. And I think in the line of work that I'm in, I think that for me, that's one of the biggest evidences. I think, Romans talks about the stars and the trees and the heavens, that man is without excuse. I think that's an evidence. Does that help Marv at all, or
not really?
Are you looking for more of a feeling?
No,
kind of thing?
I give up on that.
Right,
a long time ago.
I think I know maybe a little bit of what you're thinking, feeling, talking about right here. Is I get into my head and I'm thinking about, why am I not seeing something here?
Exactly.
Confirmation. Why me?
Something.
But what Monty just said is, you just stop and get out of you and look around. The work going on around you is confirmation that there is work going on. Good work's going on. And it's our time. I know the feeling. I want to see. I want to feel it right then. I want to know that, all right, God, I'm in this situation. I need to know. And I don't get that feeling. It leaves me hanging going, oh, why not? Come on, let's get this. But if I can get out of myself and just look around at the works, like what you said, Monty, you look at people sometimes and you go, that's a miracle.
Right.
That's a miracle going on right there in front of my eyes. And they probably don't see the miracle happening. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know. But if I can get out of myself long enough to not think about my problem and it not happening right now, God, I see things happening, and that's encouraging at least.
I can relate with you, though.
Oh, me too.
There's,
oh, sure.
I went through
sure
9 years of not seeing anything until I took a jump of faith, and now I'm...
Right.
Yeah, no, I can feel your frustration. I can see it, and I can feel it. I understand. It's hard.
Well, and then I'd like to make clear, too, I'm an alcoholic. I'm not stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. The alcoholic.
And some of the things you guys have talked about, I do and have done and continue to do daily. I see it all around me in other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I see what's guys seen it every day in meetings, people changing, and and I pray a lot of times that God would, that Holy Spirit would be in those meetings to heal broken people and stuff, and I do see it.
Yeah.
And I guess what I want to say is, my message sounds discouraging. It is, to me, discouraging.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And we don't have enough time to go into all the reasons, and I won't. But I will say this, for those who feel sort of similar the way I do, is I'm not going to let go.
Good.
Excellent.
Right.
I'm holding on, but I'm not a pretender. I can't pretend everything is all hunky dory. Oh yeah,
Sure.
I can't do it.
And that's how recovery works. As long as you're honest with others and yourself, you help me. I'm not alone in that type of struggle right now.
The thing is that is great about God is He gets that.
Mm-hmm.
There was a book, I don't know if it was Dobson or Anthony Capello, or I don't know who the author was. I can't remember now. But it was called Honest to God. I think it was James Dobson. And it was about being honest to God. God, I don't like you very much right now.
Mm-hmm.
God, you and I aren't talking.
Mm-hmm.
God, I'm broken. And and He can handle it. He's got big shoulders. He's not going to surprise him.
Mm-hmm.
And we do go through these things. We do have these emotional highs and lows, and feeling like nothing's going on. You got to hold on to the couch.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that's what we got to do.
And I'm Italian, and I'll come hunt you down if you try to let go. You can't do that.
But to reflect on something that Marv said earlier in James chapter 2, verse 7, a faith that does not do things is a dead faith. Mm-hmm. Our faith without works is dead. We do have a part.
Yes.
Now, I can't even exercise that part without God's Spirit enabling me to do it because I'm so self-centered. But we do have a part. You know, and it's up to us whether we're not robots. It's up to us whether we answer the call to that or not. It's up to us whether we're going to just make the decision to hang on. Mm-hmm. When, you know, it's like a bad carnival ride and we're trying to wait for the thing to stop, you know. So faith is an interesting thing. And again, I really do think that the opposite of it is sight. Mm-hmm. And I think if I look beyond my sight, particularly literally, what my eyes see, I will see what God's doing. Mm-hmm. But if I limit it to what my eyes see, I'm probably going to miss it.
Oh, yeah.
If that makes any sense at all. Well, we talked about earlier on in the definition, developing an unshakable confidence in God. Okay, so it's a developmental thing. It's a journey. And our closing song is by our good friend Brian Duncan, formerly of the Sweet Comfort Band. And it's interesting because this is a song he wrote when he was at the height of his addiction.
Really?
Before he ever got into any kind of 12-step program. And then when he finally did, and then he realized that God had blessed him with this song, to write this song, it was a beautiful thing. Listen to the words to this.
And we'll just take it one step at a time after that, one clap at a time.
Like walking on water to a land no man can see.
things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as a pathway to peace, taking as Jesus did this sinful world as it is and not as I would have it, trusting that he will make all things right if I surrender to his will, so that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with you forever in the next.
Thank you, Brian Duncan. Listen, don't forget, have an incredibly fun 4th of July, but please make sure it's safe. And don't say happy 4th of July. Say congratulations on our Independence Day. Until our next broadcast, this is the Monty'man and the gang, and we're wishing God's perfect serenity for you. Bye-bye now.
This has been a broadcast of KHLT Recovery Broadcasting.
She's a super cat, she's super kitty, meow.
Here, kitty, 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 kitty.